So we are on page 48. I need more. And then I'll give you, I will give you time to finish reading, finish doing questions, and then I will give you some time on Monday to complete what you didn't get completed. That'll be our tying up loose ends part. So no homework over the Thanksgiving break. No homework.
This is what favorite teacher. Yeah.
So yeah, don't do it over the break. I'll give you time on this. Okay, be thankful. Not
My grandma asked,
over the break.
my grandma asked me one thing, what was it? Not giving me
I'm sure you will. First thing comes to mind. Okay, number one of the engage question says this. Respond to the objection that intelligent design is not science. What would you say in response?
Ruling out intelligent design as science also rules out the vast majority of forensic sciences, if not all of them, which includes Darwinism.
What is science? What have we called science? Yeah. A search for causes. And there is more cause to believe in intelligent design than there is to believe in Darwinism. So if intelligent design is not science, neither is Darwinism. So we're looking for causes, and we're going where the evidence takes us. And as Seth so eloquently said, that this is forensic science, but it is a science. Don't tell somebody that is doing accident reconstructions or is figuring out where a bullet came from or all of those things. Don't tell them they're not doing science. You're really going to tick them off because they are. And
those people know how to hide a
what?
Those people are going to be the people who know how to hide a lie.
Okay.
Forensic science.
Hopefully not. But I mean, hopefully they'll never have to do that or not to do that. But yes, I suppose you're right. But you always get caught. Not by people, you get caught by Jesus. Keep that in mind. All of that is true. Respond to the objection that intelligent design commits the God of the gaps fallacy. First, let's talk about what is the God of the gaps fallacy.
People who have enough information about a certain subject or event, they would just announce it up to, well, God did it, I guess.
Yeah.
They fill in gaps.
Right.
God did it.
Right. It just must have been. And it's also sort of like, it doesn't have to be God, the God of the Bible.
Right.
Remember when we talked about when there was an eclipse that the Nordic people thought it was these two wolves, Haiti and Skoll, that were causing it? That's a God in the gaps fallacy. Like, we don't understand. I'll tell you a story about that in a second. Yeah.
There's a story kind of like this. Columbus, when he got to America, he really needed supplies to get through the winter, but the natives only gathered enough to keep them for the winter. Luckily, Columbus, he knew a little bit of astronomy, and so he knew that there was a total lunar eclipse coming, and so he told them, "If you don't give me your crops, my God will make the sun disappear." And then they were like, "No." And then the eclipse happened, and they're like, "Wow, that's the gift and all of it."
So that's taking a little bit advantage of the people. So before we go on, I'm going to give you an example of the God in the gaps fallacy. Before we go on, and we'll finish this question. We'll finish it. 1 year at camp, Everybody knows what I mean when I say camp by this
Yeah.
time? You've had me long enough? Okay. So, one year at camp, have I told you the story before? The tornado story? I didn't tell you the tornado. Okay, so we had a tornado, and it was bad. It didn't hit the camp, but it hit the camp next to our camp. And there's a long story behind it, including my son, my high school age son, Josh, thinking he needed to stand at the door of the church and watch everything. And I'm like, get down here in the basement. And he's like, no, this is cool. I should have known that. Shouldn't I have known like he was going to be a cop? He's going to put himself in danger.
No, it's just something Western.
Anyway, you would have been doing that. Okay. So I'm down there, and you need to remember that I'm storyteller Amy. I'm the Bible story teacher, and so all things theological that campers have come to me. So this counselor comes up with this little boy and says, "Storyteller Amy, Eli or whatever his name was, has a question for you." And so little Eli looks up in my eyes and he says, "So, what are the angels doing to make the tornado? I mean, I know that when it thunders, like they're bowling in heaven, but like what are they doing to make the tornado?" And so I look down at this little boy, and I get down on his level, and I'm talking to him, and I said, I'm not entirely sure of what the angels are doing. But let me tell you what I do know is that there are angels. I tell him the story of Elisha and his servant, and the servant's like, "We're gonna die! Look at all the people poised against us." And Elisha says, "Open his eyes so you can see." He sees all the angels. And he's like, "Oh, we're good. They're not going to get past that." And so I'm doing this beautiful job. They're protecting us, and I go on, and it is. I mean, I'm on point with my theology. I'm doing good. And so I look down at him after I say that. He goes, "Yeah, okay. But what are the angels doing?" And I'm like, "They're spinning around, sweetheart." That's all they're doing. That's all. I didn't get anywhere with that. But that's the God in the Gaps fallacy, right? That something supernatural must be involved because they didn't understand the science. So, now let's read this question again. Respond to the objection that intelligent design commits the God of the Gaps fallacy. Yes, Mary. Aiden.
Well, we're not really feeling it when God did it. We're looking at evidence, like actual evidence, and saying, okay, this is. We're not trying to prove that God did it, first of all. We're trying to prove that He was intelligent. So intelligent design isn't trying to prove that God did it specifically. It's trying to say that it's all these different examples of why this had to be intelligent design. And then we're also looking at why it's not naturalistic. So we're saying, okay, if it's not naturalism, it has to be intelligent. And if it's intelligent, here's why. So we're not filling it in with a simple statement, we're filling it in with actual evidence.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the main difference is with the Nordic people, they're like, I don't know what thunder is, it must be a god or something. But we're looking at the evidence that points to God, so that we actually have solid evidence.
We don't start with God, right?
Power.
We don't start with the answer.
Yeah.
We work the problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I feel like the difference is in a God of the Gaps fallacy. God is like the means by which it happened, right? It's like you're filling it in. That is like the word for the problem, right? God does something and this happens, whereas we are taking a thing happening and having that point to God. God is like He's not. It's not like we're saying He's the cause of the thing. We're saying this thing points to this thing.
I agree with that to a point, but
Yeah.
if we're talking about first life,
Well, yeah, of course.
then that's a different story. That's probably how they would respond. Yes.
I think we could actually turn this on their head. They're kind of using an evolution of the gaps fallacy. They're looking at all the gaps between the different species and being like, oh, must have been evolution.
Time.
Yep,
Yeah,
time.
and just more time.
Really good at finding gaps.
And then we've got, PE, punctuated,
Yeah.
equilibria
Like
that,
how
that says, no, it was really short time. And you've got these, scientists going, no, it wasn't, it was really long, no, it wasn't,
it's like how the Greeks in the North just kept adding more gods for more things they saw. They're just
Right.
adding more.
Right. They're like, well, there must be another God. There must be another God.
Rainbow.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's here's what I wrote down. First of all, Darwinists are the one that are putting something in the gaps, right? Namely evolution. So it's not that we don't understand as followers of Christ. So we say the answer is God. It's not like we don't know the science. We don't know what's happening with a eclipse or thunder or whatever it is. We know the science of what's happening. We do understand. We do have empirical evidence. And also, intelligent design scientists are open to natural as well as intelligent causes. They're not going to say that the angels are spinning around to make a tornado. But they are open to both natural and intelligent causes, and that cannot be said of those who are atheistic, those who are Darwinists. So the Darwinists are really the ones that are putting something in the gaps. And then this is a really important point, and I'll have to explain it to you just a little bit. But intelligent design is falsifiable. If something's falsifiable, it could be proven false. Evolution is not falsifiable. Even when there are these things that show that it's not evolution, they'll say, but it is. They won't allow it to be. It could be proved false. Darwinianism is not, cannot be proven false as far as they're concerned. Question 3. It's going to happen again. Respond to the objection that intelligent design is religiously motivated.
Well, yeah, sometimes it is, but that doesn't affect whether or not something's going to be true. Like two people who have different beliefs, if they study the same thing and use proper procedures, they're going to come out with the same answer. So like yeah, people are looking for intelligent design because they're motivated by religion. People are motivated by what they believe. Everyone is. Darwinists are looking for proof for evolution because they believe in evolution. Does that mean that their research is necessarily more true or more false because of that? No, because like one of the truths we learned about is that like a person's personal beliefs does not affect what the actual truth is.
Right. You can believe it really sincerely. It doesn't make it true.
Yeah, going off that, it doesn't matter how biased we are if we're right. Like, you can teach kindergartner addition by like, okay, if you have $2 and I give you $2 more, what does that make? Or you can just hammer in the facts like 2 plus 2 is 4. If you don't understand this, you fail. It doesn't make 2 plus 2 equals 4 any less right. Also,
that's true. You'll have some crying little children. Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead. Also,
well, that's beside the point.
Also,
Darwinists are atheistically motivated, if that makes any sense. Like they're motivated against religion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Bias is just information to something specific. So it's just like already, it's just what they're focused. Just because they're focusing on something they believe doesn't mean that they're going to be right or wrong. It just means they're more inclined to choose that option.
Right. And the problem is when you're like, okay, I've got this option, this option, this option, but I'm not taking it.
Right.
Then you're not.
You're just more inclined to be wrong.
Right.
Right. But that doesn't make the actual question itself right or wrong.
The thing is, we don't just start with like people just assume that we always start with like the Bible. This is exactly what happened, and then we go off the scientific facts and we check it with the Bible. We don't start off like going like this is the only thing that can be true. That's often what Darwinists do is like, oh, I don't believe in that because that's not what my beliefs are. That's not always like it. Literally said in the book like the intelligent design scientists are often like thing to you should have like natural and intelligent, but Darwin is all are like no intelligent design. You start off with that, but that's not what the
Very good, very good. Then they said this, and I think this is important too. So it's based on science, it's based on the evidence, but their findings are consistent with the Bible, but not based on the Bible, which is what you just said. That's a kind of a pithy way of putting it. The findings are consistent with the Bible, but not based on the Bible. Number 4. Respond to the objection that intelligent design is false because the so-called design isn't perfect. Yes.
Well, no. Okay.
I love it.
I do not have a car.
That's sad for me.
I would like.
I'm sure you.
My car isn't bad. My car isn't broken or dirty or rusty or beat up or any of that, right? Because it can't be because I don't have a car. Now, I did have a car. When I have a car, it's not going to be a very expensive one. So maybe it will be a little dinged up, right? But you have to have a car to have problems with your car. You see what I mean?
Yep.
You have to have design to have flawed design, right? And even though like flawed design, we can't know if there is design by an intelligent creator. Who are we to say that we know what a flaw is, right? Like we can identify a flaw, but just that the fact that we can see that there is some kind of, at least appearing to us, a flawed design, there has to be a design.
Yeah, that's good analogy. Yes, Lauren.
It's like going off of that, it's just saying like, oh, so you're saying that you know what your design is then? In your eyes,
Maybe it's perfect for that. Yes.
Yeah, it's like just because that to you it isn't optimal doesn't mean it is designed with someone. It's like seeing like the most ugly shirt you ever laid eyes on. Well, it doesn't mean like someone still designs that. Like it's not like it's cute. It's super
And
duper
someone's
flawed.
going to think it's really
Yeah,
cute.
it's so, I've actually had that happen.
Like to you or
Well,
to
no,
me?
so my mom and I were at a store and we saw a shirt and my mom was like, that is a very ugly sweater. I'm like, yeah, it is. Then we went to this like event thing and the lady standing ahead of us in line was wearing the exact same shirt we had just seen.
She didn't agree.
Yeah, apparently she
loved it.
not.
Yeah. Yes, Seth.
The fact that we can see and find flaws implies that we know what flawless is. And from an atheistic worldview, there is no such thing as a flaw. There is nothing, if there is no God or anything to judge what is flawed or not.
And honestly, the example of the panda's thumb is fabulous, right? It doesn't look optimal. It's not an opposable thumb, right? So, but it's the exact thumb that he needs, which or she, which really kind of speaks to the loving Creator. Thumb you need, thumb you need, the thumb you need.
They like find out
Absolutely.
bamboo is 3
Yes.
times harder than normal. Absolutely insane.
But that's what they needed, right? That's
But also the other reason is
But they don't have
Darwin is going to know
It's
that
true.
what the designer intended, then they can't see the design for
no, just a second. Guys, if people listen to you.
So, sorry, if Darwinists don't know what the designer intended, then they can't say the designer.
I'm just repeating what you've already said. Who is to say what is imperfect or optimal? Imperfect design doesn't equal no design, and they're presuming to know the mind of God when He creates something. I know I've told you about this young man before, but my mother's best friend, who we ended for a while, had a friend named Robin, whose younger son had Down syndrome, and Chad was one of the most insightful, loving human beings I ever met. So much so that I wrote a poem called What I've Learned from Chad. And it was on my back porch to remind me of those things that we see as being lesser than God. When God created Chad, He created him fearfully and wonderfully. And that is true of all of us. Question. Okay, so here's where what we have now. You're going to finish reading the chapter. You still need to complete Equip 10. And Equip 10. You can work on that now. You will have some time to finish up everything you need to finish on Monday. You will have time to study for your test on Monday, and then we'll quiz. Then we'll play the Keiser quiz on Tuesday. You'll have more time to study for that quiz, and on Wednesday you'll take that quiz. Okay? Excellent. That's it for today. Yes.